Well, was that a very public display of kiss and make up from the PM and the Foreign Minister earlier today, or more like desperate mouth-to-mouth resuscitation for their drowning government? I think we know the answer. As someone put it, it's safe to assume their relationship is still as poisonous as, well, pollution. Which brings us neatly back to the carbon tax and its passage through Parliament today. Here's Hugh Rimmington.
Children will become adults in.
Democracy is dead, chanted the public galleries.
The attendants will take action to remove people from the galleries.
Several dozen protesters were turfed from the building.
Democracy is dead!
4 times they shouted down the Prime Minister.
Reform for those children.
For all the ruckus, the carbon tax legislation itself passed through the House of Representatives quietly this morning at 9:24 a.m.
Order. The result of the division is ayes 74, noes 72. The question is therefore resolved in the affirmative. These bills, as amended, have been agreed to.
Passage into law is guaranteed now by the Greens numbers in the Senate.
This is a proud to be Australian day.
The Prime Minister congratulated by colleagues and, to the great amusement of the opposition, sharing a collegial kiss with former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd.
This Parliament has witnessed the unseemly spectacle of a government cheering itself for breaking its own election promise. They celebrated their betrayal with a kiss.
You are being marooned by the tide of history. As history has marched past you in this Parliament today.
What incredibly arrogant presumption from a Prime Minister and a government who are on the wrong side of truth.
This is a reform in the Labor tradition of Medicare and superannuation.
Shame on this government. Shame on this government.
He is the only living Liberal leader who is opposed to a price on carbon.
This House of Representatives today, this Parliament today, has seized the future.
You cannot build a decent future based on lies. This Prime Minister shouldn't just say sorry, she should resign. That's what this Prime Minister should do.
You get the flavour.
Now that the House of Representatives has expressed the collective will of the majority of MPs...
Line has the call.
Right back at you.
Order.
Green groups celebrated, but opponents were in louder voice.
It's a hoax, it's a farce, it's a dodgy tax, it won't work, got nothing to do with climate change, and she betrayed us.
Democracy is dead. It died today.
How could they fool themselves in such a way as to honestly believe that the people out there's not a white-hot fury, that it's gone beyond the carbon tax, it's gone to a government that refuses to accept the right of the Australian people to say no.
A land abounds in nature's gift, a beauty rich and rare.
They'll be singing all the way to the next election. The opposition leader today making an oath in blood, he says, to get rid of the carbon price if and when he takes office.
And Hugh joins us now. Well, Hugh, a government loving down there today, a lot of kissing and backslapping, but in practical and political terms, they've still got a lot of work to do between now and the election.
Look, that's true, George. There'll be a bit of quiet relief, though, tonight, even out across Australia, even among some Liberal voters who wanted to see some action done on climate change. Julia Gillard now desperately wants to go full term. This tax comes into effect from July the 1st of next year, and they say that should give them at least a year before the election for people to get used to it, to see that it's even less disruptive than the GST. Tony Abbott has pledged in blood to get rid of it, but by 2013, climate may not be quite the asset if he has to unwind all of this, and that'll be messy. It won't be quite the asset that it seems for him tonight, George.
Thanks for that, Hugh, and on it goes, I suspect. Well, I think we've all pretty